our program, and we are speaking with the people from Special Olympics Bahamas. This is a very nice book that you brought here, A Guide to Making Healthy Food Choices for a Better Life.
Right.
This is what you promote in Special Olympics Bahamas as well?
Sure. We actually have a program called Healthy Athletes Program. And this is not just in the Bahamas, this is worldwide. And what it does is it focuses on the health of the athlete. It is a known fact all around the world that persons with intellectual disabilities do not have access to the same kind of health care that most persons do. And so Healthy Athletes is a major program within the Special Olympics organization. And in fact, whenever you attend World Games, it is mandatory that the coaches take the athletes through these healthy programs where they get free screenings, eye tests, hearing exams, just the overall well-being of the individual, dental checks. And this is something that we promote. And yes, we do have a booklet that is produced on an annual basis, which focuses on different health topics from time to time.
Very good, very good. You were supposed to remember another lady who participated or who is very special in Special Olympic Bahamas.
Miss Sheila Culmer.
Yes.
Sheila Culmer, I think the whole Bahamas knows Sheila Culmer. But Sheila Culmer was one of those founding members for Special Olympics Bahamas as well, and did a tremendous job of laying the foundation. So certainly we want to say thank you to her for that and the work that she had done and left behind for us to continue on.
And so you have some strong volunteers, eh? And everything is voluntary, right?
Right. We have, and I can say this, I mean, without hesitation, I believe we have some of the best volunteers around. You know, our volunteers are very dedicated, they're very committed, and it is a labor of love. Our coaches, for example, they come into the program, and some people may think, oh, it's just Special Olympics, you know, there's no big deal. But I can tell you, I would have no hesitation in placing our coaches on par with any of the coaches for their various sports in the Bahamas. These guys are fantastic. They become not just coaches, but mentors, big brothers, big sisters to our athletes. A lot of times they're doing things well beyond just what a coach would do. And it's just, you know, amazing to see how dedicated our coaches are. It has been difficult getting volunteers because I guess when people come in, they realize, boy, this is more work than I thought it was going to be. But the ones that have stayed, trust me, you can't beat them. You can't beat them.
And they've been there for many years.
For many years. A number of them have been there many years. Those that stay, stay.
Yes.
Those that are not going to hang around within a year or so, you would find that they're finding something else to do.
What an incredible experience it is to have been able to go to the World Games and go to Abu Dhabi. I saw some wonderful pictures, Mr. Jones, of them on camels.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
All right.
What an experience that would be. Were you able to go on a camel?
Yes, Mama.
How was that?
Good.
Yeah. Did you also?
Yeah.
That's like an experience of a lifetime.
So you like riding the camel?
Yeah.
Eh?
First time on the camel.
The first time on the camel?
Yeah.
Wow. And you went, how many days you spent? How long you went to Abu Dhabi?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Oh, that was a very good trip.
It was. There was the lead program that they called Host Town. So once we got in, we actually flew into Dubai.
Okay.
And we went straight into a town called Sharjah. We spent a couple of days there. They hosted us to different cultural events while we got acclimated to the time difference and learning the culture. And then from Sharjah, the delegation was split because track and field and swimming took place in Dubai.
Okay.
And the other sports, the competitions took place in Abu Dhabi. So some of us went to Dubai and the rest went to Abu Dhabi.
How did the Bahamas do in swimming?
We did well. We had one swimmer. We started out initially, we should have had three. One of the guys from Grand Bahama, there were some issues there, so he didn't make the trip. A young lady from Abaco, really good swimmer. She had to have back surgery just before the games, and so it was unfortunate she couldn't attend. But our lone swimmer, a lady by the name of Colette Grant, Colette got a bronze medal in the 50-meter freestyle. She came fourth in the 50-meter breaststroke. Now, the breaststroke is her best stroke, but I will tell you, even with that fourth place, she shaved 9 seconds of her personal best time that she had ever recorded. And you don't hear about that happening in sports.
Yes.
So we were extremely proud of her fourth place finish
That's very
in
good.
the 50-meter breaststroke.
Very good.
That's really good.
Right.
And it's it must be a lot of pressure. Is it a lot of pressure to have all the crowds of people there and you have to do your best? Did you get nervous?
Some of my family members was there.
The family members were there.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. And they watched you get that bronze medal.
No, she
got
got
gold.
gold.
Gold, I mean. Yes, she got bronze.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got bronze in 200 and you got a gold in
Singles and bowling.
in bowling. You must be an excellent bowler.
Yeah.
Huh? You've been bowling for years, eh? You've been bowling for many years?
No, but 8.
8 years. Wow, that's extremely good. So you need to take some other people and train them how to bowl. Teach them how to bowl.
That's what she's doing actually now with bocce. Because
Okay.
she used to be one of our better bocce players.
Yes.
But by going through the training and becoming an assistant coach for bocce, she's now helping other bocce players become better and better.
Oh, you're teaching bocce now. Very good, very good.
So how does this work? Is there just sports going on every day, or how do people sign up to be a part of this? Is it an ongoing training to be a part of the Special
Olympics Bahamas?
Yes.
Yes, we have registration forms, and but persons would from time to time just call in, or the word gets around, and essentially the process for becoming a part of is really just filling out a registration form. Essentially what we need to do or need to find out by getting the registration form completed is what your health background in particular is like, because there may be some sports that persons just should not be participating in from a medical standpoint. And so you need to be medically cleared before we actually allow you to participate in training and competition events. And once that takes place, individuals just show up to practice after that. There is no cost involved for persons wanting to become registered athletes within Special Olympics Bahamas. It is totally free to the athletes. And so we encourage everybody in the Bahamas that has persons with intellectual disabilities in their family members to try and get them out, try and get them involved. And you know, Mr. Jones, that's still one of the sore points in our country. As you know, there's still a stigma attached to persons with intellectual disabilities. And unfortunately, there's still some families, we know this for a fact, that basically keep those persons indoors, keep them shut away, and really and truly they're not getting any sort of a life at all. What Special Olympics Bahamas does, and Special Olympics in the wider sense, is it creates an environment that allows these individuals to feel at home, to feel very comfortable amongst their peers. There's no pointing, no whispering, no chuckling, or anything like that. Everybody can be themselves. And just as we've seen with a number of athletes, some of these athletes have tremendous talents, and we're going to talk about some of that, obviously. But some of these athletes have tremendous talent that would otherwise just be shut away in a room, and nobody knows about these talented athletes that our countries have.
Right. And you are operating in Special Olympics Bahamas in several islands in the Bahamas, eh?
Right. 5 islands,
5.
actually. 7 sports.
Okay.
My athletes here can tell you which islands we were in. Which islands are we in?
Eleuthero, Grand Bahama. It used to be Long Island, right? It used to be Long Island.
well, not Long Island now, right?
Exuma.
Right.
Okay.
Abaco
Abaco.
and
New Providence.
Providence, right?
Okay. Very
Right.
good.
So we just started a program in Exuma about just about 2 years ago. So it's a very young program, very small program, based out of the Center for Exceptional Learners up there, which is run by the Exuma Foundation. And they last year, for the first time, participated in 2 of our national events, our bocce championships, as well as the track and field nationals. So we're very proud of what's happening in Exuma right now. And that program is going to grow. And like she said earlier, we have Eleuthera, we got Abaco. Abaco is primarily based out of the ECC school up there. And then Grand Bahama, where most of our athletes are out of the Beacon School up in Grand Bahama. And then we have a good-sized program in New Providence, both in and out of school individuals. Okay. So yes, 5 islands we're operating in right now.
You took 36 people with you to Abu Dhabi, but obviously you have a whole lot of people who are in your program who
Right.
you train who didn't make it.
Right.
So how big is the program itself?
Right now, we have about 300 registered athletes in the
300.
program. And that may sound like a lot, but it is estimated that 2% of the world's population have an intellectual disability. And so if you apply those numbers to the Bahamas, our program should be far larger than what it is. But it really depends on 3 things. 1, persons bringing their individuals, their children, their nieces, nephews, whatever, out to be a part of the program. 2, volunteers, in particular volunteer coaches. And then 3, funding, because those 3 things will go hand in hand to allow our program to expand and get more and more people into the program.
Yeah.
If you wanted to apply to be a volunteer, what would you need to do?
Volunteering is very simple. It's almost the same as becoming an athlete. Essentially, there is a registration form that we ask the individual to complete, which is just gathering basic information. We do ask for proper identification, and we do ask for references. Bear in mind that once we bring persons in as volunteers, they're going to be exposed to either on what we call an A level or a B level to persons with intellectual disabilities, persons who are typically very vulnerable. And so a part of Special Olympics process is to make sure that the persons, to the extent that we can, that the persons that we're bringing in are persons who are worthy of taking on that challenge, and not persons who are just coming in looking to take advantage of situations.
Okay, very good. Let's take this final break here on our program as we continue our conversation after the break with Special Olympics Bahamas. We'll come back.